Ephesians 3 and verse 6. It says there in Ephesians 3 verse 6 that the Gentiles, listen to this, should be fellow heirs. How many heirs does God have? He has Gentile heirs and He has Jewish heirs, separated one from the other. No. It says here that the Gentiles should be fellow heirs of a different body. No, of the same body, and partakers of His promise in Christ through the gospel. How do they obtain the promises? How do they become members of one body? It says, partakers of His promises in Christ through the gospel. By the way, you say, well, does the New Testament say that the body is the church? Are you saying then that God only has one body, literal Jews and Gentiles in one church? Absolutely. Ephesians 1, verse 18, and then we'll read verse 24. It says in verse 18, and He, that is Jesus, is the head of the body. And what is the body? The church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things He may have the preeminence. Verse 24, I now rejoice in my sufferings for you, and fill up in my flesh what is lacking in the afflictions of Christ, for the sake of His body, which is what? Which is the church. How many bodies does Jesus have? He has 2 bodies. If He had 2 bodies, He would be a monster. One head with 2 bodies? No. He's one head with one body composed of all of the people of God, Jews and Gentiles. The next point that I want to make is that God has only one chosen city. He doesn't have the earthly Jerusalem for the Old Testament Jewish saints and the New Jerusalem for the New Testament spiritual Israel saints. Absolutely not. There's only one city for both Old and New Testament people of God. Notice Revelation 21 and verse 2. Revelation 21, verse 2. Then I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Which city is this? It's the New Jerusalem. One city, right? Now, is that city composed of all of God's people from the Old and New Testament? Absolutely. Notice Revelation chapter 21 and verse 12. Revelation 21 and verse 12. It's speaking here about the 12 gates of the city. It says also, she had a great high wall with 12 gates and 12 angels at the gates and names written on them, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. What is it that is written over the gates? The names of the what? Of the sons of Jacob, of the 12 tribes of Israel. Which testament would that be? That would be the Old Testament, right? But I want you to notice that that same city has something else. Notice Revelation chapter 21 and verse 14. Revelation chapter 21 and verse 14. Speaking about the same city, it says, now the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and on them were the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. In other words, one city, the gates have the names of the tribes, and the foundations have the names of the apostles. In other words, the city is composed of Old Testament Christians and New Testament Christians. Old Testament Israel and New Testament Israel in one city. By the way, go with me to Hebrews chapter 11, and let's pursue this a little bit further. Hebrews 11, verses 9 and 10, and then we'll jump down to verses 13 to 16. Let me ask you, which city did the Old Testament heroes look forward to? Did Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob look forward to that little city over there in the Middle East where there's so much conflict today? None of the great heroes of the Old Testament look forward to the earthly Jerusalem. They look forward to the heavenly Jerusalem, just like we look forward to the heavenly Jerusalem. Notice Hebrews 11, verse 9. By faith, speaking about Abraham, he dwelt in the land of promise, as in a foreign country. Notice he was in the promised land, but it was a foreign country.